Hi, this is Cheryl at Sea Spirit Tarot. I've had a most interesting day, which I may talk about when I'm babbling on one of my personal videos. I guess this is a personal video, but this is part of the integrated conversation between all of us for 31 Days of Tarot 2020. And I too, as some of the other people do, are combining them. And a couple of these, you're going to see how totally anti-establishment I am, because, you know, I ain't even dealing with that pop star stuff or any of that, I don't think, unless I get a great revelation. So today I'm going to do number 6 and number 10. Now, number 6, from what I understand, well, I misunderstood it first, is what decks am I anticipating coming out and getting. But I read that, and I see some of the other people are doing it too, is what decks they could anticipate getting, like a wish list. So I want to say, I'm 68, my guides sent me this job here to do this YouTube video, which is pretty cool. I'm looking for my lapis, so maybe I'll say something intelligent. And really and truly, and I'm a hippie, I'm a bit of a minimalist. What I have is good. You know, I have some hermetic decks to study magic. And in me, I have a couple of kind of fun decks. But I do have a wish list. Now, actually, oh, and I forgot to get up and get that. I wanted a deck I could put in my purse. I'm actually going to stop this. Is it even running? Yes, it is. Not only am I novice tarot reader, returning after 20 years, but I'm novice smartphone operator. I wanted a deck I could take in my purse, and I've been having purse issues, but my sister just gave me this massive bag, and I'm using a purse. Everything's dumped in there, but at least if I can swirl it around, I don't have to dump stuff out and stuff falls out. But I just realized that my JJ Swiss came in this cool box. So maybe I don't need another Marseille deck. Because, I mean, I would love, I do have on my wish list the one by Tudowski or whatever his name is that wrote the book. And then I saw another one on Three Fat Tarot Readers or whatever, whoever that guy is. Oh, Mystical Man showed a beautiful one. But really and truly, my JJ Swiss, now that I'm carrying a suitcase around, it still fits in my bicycle, so I guess could suffice. But the one he had was really, really pretty. It was black and white. It was in a small tin. And like I said, I've kind of wandered off here, but this is like my wish list. And I was saying, the cards I have are sufficient for me right now and to what to study. And this goddess thing, there's so many gods and goddess decks. And I don't know quite what to do about that. I might make my own whatever. Make my own southern ones too, which I'll get to. But anyway, right now, I feel like I have enough goddesses to study to keep me busy a while. One of the oracle decks, it might be a tarot, I can't remember. There's Ethany did a walkthrough, she uses it, and then one of the, was it someone whose name had Saturn in it, I think had it on one of their initial interviews, but there's so many of these interviews. And it's that deck of cards that's got the women, it's kind of modern, and there's stuff like, say things like, shut the fuck up and pay attention to what you're doing. Kind of that kind of language. And sometimes I think those would be fun to carry them to my purse, you know, to hand it to the right person, one that would look at that with humor, but also taking, aha, yeah, you're right, you know, I just had it out with pharmacy tech. Somebody's a guy, you know. He says, lady, I got 60 people ahead of you. You know, I'd love to have drawn him a card. But mostly I told him he just didn't talk to women my age that way, and I left the store. Nothing was emergent. Another joke in the filming the film of the frequency as we go through, a ripple. So if someone knows the name of those, I'd greatly appreciate it if you wrote those in that comment, because I spent some time looking. I also spent some time looking. I don't have an editor, so I can't put it up here, the cards I'm talking about. And I was going to copy them on my copier, but I just didn't do it. So anyway, I am interested in that, whatever that bitch tarot is. And like I said, I'm up in the air there's so many goddess decks. I like that Carl Gray of the Ascended Masters, though, or whatever his is. But I'm not shopping for any decks. They will come to me. I am the energy. I stand. It goes by. If I'm meant to have it, it will come. Now, one of the next decks I probably am going to buy that is an old deck, and also, you know, I'm an old bohemian living on the beach. You know, I'm not living in the $500,000 condo. So the Santa Muerta, Day of the Dead, and that's because I live down here in the South, and I have relatives from Louisiana, and you know, we're cotton balls in Southern Magnolia. I spent 35 years in the Rocky Mountains in a totally, you know, different headset, but now I'm back home to the South, you know, to the crawfish, to the alligators, to the dolphins. So I think that deck, one is I like darker decks like that. And it's in our bones. It's in our bones, too, what we're transmitting in our DNA. It's in our blood. Our blood's made in our bones. Kind of works into my practice. Also works well, I live on an island where we have, well, first of all, Texas is very high Hispanic population. We are also border Mexico. So Day of the Dead, Sugar Skulls, that is like normal routine around here. Pirates are normal routine around here. And magnolia trees are routine around here. We have Mardi Gras. People are already decorating for Mardi Gras. We took down on Christmas, we put up the Mardi Gras. So I'm looking at those also as more of a local read. And also another decks of the type that would be great to be read local, because I have been signing up and inquiring into doing some of the craft fairs or such to set up a booth and read. Would be any of the Bohemian Gothics or the Vamps. They would be just perfect, because that's culture here. You know, there's Ellis Island, there was Galveston, Texas, and that's where the people came in. We've had those massive hurricanes. We've had orphanage. This is also one of the top ghost cities of, I think there is about 40,000 people here now. The island is 18 miles long. It's not real crowded up. It's about as city as I want to deal with right now. Okay, the other day, Shuffle Tarot showed a deck, an oracle deck. I looked it up, and it was $45. It's a little steep for me right now. It was called a New Orleans Oracle, and that's in my culture, and that would be another great read to have down here in South Texas on the island. This was Jean Lafitte's second home. He had plantations here. He has a house here, and Jean Lafitte, the pirate, you know, was based out of New Orleans. I'm talking pretty local culture, but that is why. But the interesting thing about them was I noticed that they were more Vedic. They were almost more Vedic in colors and in pictures, where you would think they would be more hoodoo voodoo. Because Halloween, I bought a Halloween deck at the Halloween store, and I read every day with that for like 6 weeks. Oh, I just loved it. $7 deck. What a blast it was. And I had to learn all those chiminas, and, you know, I didn't know what everything was, but a lot of the cards were the voodoo, and they were just really awesome. And that culture is primarily Catholic, and anytime you have hoodoo voodoo, you know, you got the whiskey, you got the dead chicken, and you have Mother Mary. You always have Mother Mary. I've never seen Krishna or Buddha at hoodoo voodoo altar set up. And New Orleans, City of Vampires, right? Even that's where modern, all the shapeshifters and vampires live, if you read any of those books. So anyway, I thought that is something I would like to have. I also saw some crone's bones. They were $30 for 3 bones I'm an RN. I should know exactly what bone that is, but I can't tell you. I think it was an arm bone off an animal. I might just try to get some bones. Because throwing the bones, I mean, that goes hoodoo voodoo. I'll have to show you when I get my Mardi Gras stuff out, I have some cool hoodoo voodoo Mardi Gras beads. And that's when I was saying I just might make my own oracle cards somehow. And I wrote down the words for notes: Magnolia, Cotton, Voodoo. This is, you know, New Orleans, if you have a tree, you hang all these colored bottles on it down in the swamps. And then when the wind blows, you know, the bottles hit together. You put water in the bottles. And that keeps the ghost and the miasmas away. So it's a whole lot cool with that culture down. That's culture down here. Where before, when I was in the Rockies, I started out so strong in the Druidic culture. And now I have just kind of changed it. There was also, I've seen a saltwater oracle deck, comes out of Australia. Once again, it's expensive. Between those two decks, for what they cost, I don't know if I would get, which one I would get, or if I'd get either. I'd probably get the New Orleans one. But then also someone in these showed a tarot deck. It was all nautical. They showed one rowboat, but everything else was sailboats, or buoys, or nets, or sea animals, seabirds. If whoever showed that deck happens to watch my video and make it this far, would you please note below what that deck is? Because once again, if I took the Day of the Dead with the New Orleans ones, there's also a couple other voodoo decks I was looking when I went in yesterday to buy the Day of the Dead, that I kind of just put that off. So, but both down here, one on an island, we're a harbor, we're a beach, we're seafaring, we're full of ghosts, we're full of pirates, we're Mardi Gras year-round, fantasy Mardi Gras. And those would just be great decks to read with in this locale. Also, I want to say, so Kickstart, I hear about this Kickstart, and I saw a Kickstart for a crystal deck, and I just looked it up. I came to the name of it. I should get it in the next 2 weeks. And it basically has crystals. I think it has the sacred geometry. It's got like 5 things on it, maybe the astrology. And that was a small investment. And I did it just to have a deck because, you know, all of a sudden everybody's into crystals and it's kind of fun. And I may start my own somewhat homeopathic clinic, you know, with oils or poultices, stones and such, and use my knowledge and experience of an RN that way. So I thought they would fit in. Two other ones that I am really into is anything Vedic. So I saw Krishna. It was either Krishna or Bhagavad Gita. Those again are like my Ganesh cards, or like the Halls of Amenti cards. They give a positive thought. It raises your vibration. I prefer to raise my vibration and let some of those lower pieces leave because their frequency not right. And believe me, at 68, stuck 20 plus years in my own prison of my own head or karmic. If you don't think I have examined a large amount of those to the very depths and acted on them. So, you know, I mean, I didn't kill anybody or anything like that, but it was deep. I look back. It's karmic, I swear. The South Node released me loose. 2 decks, and that's what I was thinking. I was looking at the Jasmine Beckett, who I've loved her art since it came out, and that was probably, what, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever. No, 20, because my granddaughter is 19, and she was a little bit before that. So I don't know, I don't really want to just look at all the dark stuff. I can figure some of that out, and I'm working the magic. I'm working on the other stuff too. And then the Krishna, because it gave that it teaches, it's the Gita. I mean, to me, that's the book that makes the most sense of any of these religious books I've ever read. And the other two I wanted to give mention to, and none of them are coming out this year. I haven't checked on that. I don't have the finances. I don't have the need to have that many decks. I don't know. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'd rather buy a sailboat or something, but both of these two were on Tarot Map, and I did the interview, and I really liked the energy behind the artist. And one is The Way Home, which is a pretty light, ordinary looking deck, and their whole purpose was to show you the way home. And those two young women were just a delight. I really enjoyed that interview. And the other one I cannot pronounce, Falacastero, which is basically from her dreams. But the artist and her lifestyle, I mean, except for the pain, you know, sometimes she reminds me of like reading the story of Frida, you know, the artist. So both of those I'd be interested in having those decks, maybe because of the energy of the artist. And of course, Patrick Valanza with the, whatever this one is again, Deviant Moon, yeah. So anyway, that was those together. And the 10th thing, oh my God, I've been on here too long, 16 minutes. Question number 10 is, share decks lost in collection to recommit with. When I did those responses to Ouroboros, going through and making my counsel, my personal counsel, I was sad because I had given away, traded my tarot, my Arthurian tarot. And I'd been thinking about it for weeks. And I mean, I got rid of it 15 years ago, right? But I found a deck here, and I don't know all my brands, but y'all will recognize what it is. And it's the Avalon Tarot. So here's a deck. I don't even know where it came from. I don't know why I have it. I don't know when I got it. But here it is. And, you know, I'm a Pisces, King Arthur. I'm a priestess. So it's the Avalon Tarot. And I was just rooting through all the stuff, and I opened this box, and there it was. So that is my response to newly published decks that aren't newly published, but on my wish list. Because I'm a novice. I'm a novice at YouTube. I guess after returning after 20 years in the resources that were available then, I'm definitely a novice tarot reader. But I'm an old crone in life, and I'm having a ball. And if you watch this, thank you. Many blessings. Love is the answer. I look forward to watching y'all as I'm watching them too.